The sun hits the pavement of Pahlavi Avenue at a sharp, midday angle. Pedestrians move in a steady, synchronized rhythm, turning the sidewalk into a flowing current. Character_1 steps out from the store, pausing to adjust her headscarf before leaning into the glass to check her reflection. Beside her, Character_2 glances at his watch, his thumb clicking the crown back into place. They turn together, moving toward the sidewalk cafe where the air hangs heavy with the scent of roasted coffee. A transistor radio sits on a nearby ledge, filling the space with the bright, driving beat of pop music. Inside, the waiter places 2 glasses of black tea onto the marble tabletop, the glass clinking against the stone surface. Sugar cubes drop into the liquid with a soft splash. People lean in across the tables, hands gesturing, faces animated as they talk. No one looks down at a device. Every eye is locked on the person across from them. The city hums with a focused, deliberate energy, grounded in the immediate moment, as the afternoon light catches the steam rising from the tea. Across the city, the university gates swing open, the heavy iron hinges groan, and a flood of students pours out onto the sidewalk. They carry leather briefcases and thick folders, clutching them to their chests as they navigate the dense flow of the city. The air is thick with the sound of tires on asphalt and the constant, rhythmic honking of yellow taxis. Students weave through the gridlock, dodging vehicles with practiced ease, their eyes scanning the busy intersections. The pace is rapid, purposeful, and entirely unburdened. They reach the cafes and crowd the marble tables. A newspaper is spread wide, the ink still fresh. One student points to a headline, tapping the table to emphasize a point. The others lean in, their faces tight with focus. There is no waiting for news, no hesitation in their speech. Every gesture is sharp, every argument fueled by the conviction that the world is shifting beneath their feet. They talk over the tea, their hands moving in sync with the urgency of the morning's headlines. The city pulse beats through their conversation, loud and undeniable. The energy of the streets recedes as the group reaches the park. They drop their bags onto the grass, spreading a cloth to arrange flatbread, sharp-smelling cheese, and bundles of fresh, green herbs. The sun begins its slow descent, turning the light into a thick, golden syrup that clings to the trees. A heavy metal camera passes from hand to hand. They do not just sit, they organize. One person tilts their head, another smiles, their bodies shifting to catch the fading light. The camera clicks, the shutter snapping with a mechanical finality that punctuates their laughter. They pose, holding their positions, eyes squinting against the low, horizontal rays of the sun. The air cools rapidly, the heat of the day bleeding out into the evening shadows. They lean back, resting on their elbows, watching the light change on the buildings beyond the park gates. The picnic remains, half-eaten, as the focus shifts from the food to the horizon. They check the camera, passing it around again to inspect the captured images. The sun is now a sliver of orange on the edge of the world, and the first hints of dusk begin to settle over the grass, cooling their skin. The final sliver of orange vanishes, and the streetlights hum to life, casting long, stark shadows against the pavement. The city does not slow down. It merely changes focus. The transition from the park is swift, moving from the open grass into the subterranean heat of a basement club. Air thick with cigarette smoke and the sharp scent of damp earth greets anyone stepping off the street. A jazz band occupies the corner, the drummer tapping a relentless, steady beat that vibrates through the floorboards. Couples move into the aisles, their bodies catching the rhythm, feet sliding across the wood with absolute precision. There is no hesitation in their steps, no looking back toward the day that just ended. The room feels compressed, charged with a restless, forward-looking energy that demands movement. Every beat of the snare drum draws them closer to the center of the floor. They spin, they reach, they anticipate the next note before it arrives. The musicians lean into their instruments, sweat glistening on their foreheads, locking the room into a singular, driving pulse. This is a generation that treats the night not as an end, but as a terrain to be claimed. The rhythm of the club fades behind thick doors, replaced by the chaotic hum of the bazaar. Merchants stand behind brass scales, the metal clinking as they weigh mounds of powdered spices. The air is heavy with the scent of cumin and turmeric. A woman stops at a stall, her fingers tracing the intricate weave of a bolt of patterned fabric. She nods to the merchant, hands over paper currency, and tucks the roll under her arm with a sharp, decisive movement. The narrow walkways bleed into the wider streets where the night has truly settled. Tehran glows under the steady hum of street lamps. The asphalt is slick, reflecting the amber and white light like a mirror. A group of friends gathers near a stone fountain, their voices low and punctuated by laughter. They stand still, their silhouettes carved against the geometric lines of the surrounding buildings. The water in the basin ripples, catching the illumination from above and scattering it across the pavement. There is no urgency here, only the steady pulse of a city that feels like it is waiting for the next day to break. The lights remain warm, bright, and constant, framing the night as a threshold, a moment of deep, quiet promise.